everybody, welcome back. Little different angle, little different kind of video, but I realize that this stuff is new to some people. Kind of could be intimidating. I remember my very first 3D printed engine. I had no idea what to expect, and I got that one from Iceman Collections. It was the Boss Hemi Ford that I put in the Oldsmobile. Yeah, that was very memorable. But I just wanted to go, I'm going to do a video real fast. Well, it probably won't be real fast, but figuratively speaking, I want to do a video. This is obviously a 3D print. This is a new one. I'm working with Black Box, and this is his big block Chevy supercharged. It's a low parts count, so should be pretty self-explanatory. He does a nice job with the locator pins and things like that. So I just want to kind of, not a detailed video because I'm not going to paint anything, but just show you about pulling the parts off, because I know I have had questions like, what do you do with this stuff? How do you work with it? What glue do I use and things like that? So I'm just going to run through this. I've not built one of these yet, so it's new to me too, as far as getting it off the supports and all. I do try to make the supports where they're as easily broken free as possible. But with that said, things like blower belts, you don't want to just snatch them off, because the belt itself this stuff's fragile, and the blower belt could probably break. The fuel linkage on your supercharger hat, you'd want to snip those loose. But things like the block, the oil pan, valve covers, and things like that, supercharger here, heads, those things easily come off, and I will demonstrate this and hopefully won't make a fool of myself, because like I said, I haven't built this engine, but I do set all the supports up myself, so I try to keep them close to everything. So oil pan, just going to take it and twist it. There it is. Popped right off. Left one on it. That one pops right off. Block, go ahead and get that off. Make sure there's no little pieces. Just going to twist it just like that. Here's the block. Let's do a valve cover right here. These are a little more thin. These are hollow valve covers, so you would want to be a little more careful, but I do try to make the supports really tiny where they connect. Oh yeah, they come off nice. There's a valve cover one. I'm hoping my camera's focused. Valve cover number two. Let's see what now. Supercharger. On the supercharger, there are a few little, there's a fuel block back here. So I've got a couple of little ones back in the back. So all you do, take your snips. If there's any that you want to cut, you just get as close to it with your snips. They just pop. Just like that. And there's two more below it, so I'll chop this one out of the way. Probably should have got the transmission off first. Those two, and then go down here and just like that. Alright, now the supercharger should come off fairly easy. That. Alright, so that. Put the transmission upside down on this one, as you can see, because generally it's going to be in a vehicle. These little supports do leave marks that you have to sand off. So since the transmission would be seen mostly from the bottom side, I chose to turn it upside down to print it. And let's see if that pops off pretty easy. Just like so. There it is. Headers, there, you don't want to break your headers. Fortunately, I could print another set, but if you bought a set, you don't want to break them. So go through here and just get some of these supports off of the header tubes. Anything that looked like it could make it possibly break. If you don't have the supports, these things don't print right. Comes out bad looking. Also, if this stuff here gets in your way, just break it off. Get it out of the way so you can work just like that. Most of the times headers come off pretty easy. You know, I don't want to make a fool of myself and just break it right in half right on the video. I don't want to redo the video, and I want to be honest. Alright, so I got some of those. Just going to take gently just rock it. Ooh, that's pretty stout still. Break some more of these off my fingers. Okay, now it should come out of there. You want to be careful with the tip of your header. It's hollow, so you don't want that to chip off. And come on off of there. All right, got that. And some of the support stayed on it, so that's easy. We'll just pop those off. And if you can't get them, like I'm having trouble with that one, just go back with your pliers and clean all those up. The first print sometimes shows you things like, oh, I better do something different or something like that. This is not too bad. Alright, there's one header. And go ahead and chance it with this one. We're going to do it. We're going to see if I can pop it off without breaking the heck out of it. Oh, yeah. Okay, there we go. That one came off. I just wanted to be extra careful. Cylinder heads, they're pretty solid. Pop right off. And then you get to things like the blower belt, water pump, and all that. So the water pump also has a belt that you can see, and you don't want to. I've got two supports on the belt. Cut those off, one on each side. Actually, the blower hat's right in the way, and a couple on the bottom pulley down here. Hopefully you can see this. Probably not. I got the camera on the side, so I can't really see the camera. Got that. And now let's see if we can kind of just twist the water pump assembly. Yep, popped right off. There. And blower hat. It's got the throttle linkages. Those will break right off if you're not careful. Snip there. Snip there. Snip there. And on the other side it's the same thing. I guess they make these like if you I don't think blower hats have the throttle on both sides, do they? But maybe you can just cut it off if you didn't want it or something. Do it on one side. I did that on my monster truck or my bootlegger. I cut one side off. Okay. Got that. So those supports are now off of the fuel. Push these in a little bit, kind of break them free. Bam, right there. And the belt, and there's two. There's looks like an oil filter down here and maybe a valve cover breather. So let me get these off the blower belt. I'm obviously not going to paint this engine. I'm just going to put it together as somewhat of a engine I can take a picture of. I need a knife. I need a hobby knife. I've only got 20 of them. Let me get my knife. Be right back. Okay, got my hobby knife and sanding stick. Might need that. So these little supports are really tiny, so I'm gonna see if I can just pop them off with the knife. Yeah, that's easier. All right, got that. Then, before you go to breaking that off, your lower blower pulley is attached by the blower belt, so it also has attachment points. You want to get those broken free, because when you pull this off, it could just snap the belt. So, don't mean to bore you guys, but I just wanted to kind of thought, you know, this might be an interesting video to someone that's never fooled with this 3D printed stuff. And then the glue that you use, you can't use, you know, glue for styrene. Obviously, it's not styrene. You have to use super glue, and I also use some of the UV glue that I was introduced to by Mark over at Hobby Nut Models, and I'll show you the places you can use it on. You can't just use it everywhere, because UV glue is basically UV resin. You can also do this. You can just cut the whole darn bottom section off if it's just want to get it off of there. There we go. back at that, and then you see it's got these supports on the back side of that, so this should pop off pretty easy. Just have to be careful with things like belts and stuff. Okay, there's that. Got these coil packs right here. I guess those go on the valve covers if you want to wire it up. I think this is like supposed to be like a 572-ish. It's a big block Chevy. It's not like a LS style engine like your 632. I don't know if a 632 is an LS, but it has that LS type of intake and exhaust and all that stuff. Alright, now for oil filter, that'll pop right off. And the valve cover breather, pop right off. Okay. Alright, so all of our parts are off of here. Now we can kind of look at them and see what we're going to do. Alright, so on the bottom of your block, you'll have little support pins. Not really, there's just little marks. Sometimes it leaves a little bit. All I do is take, like, there's a 400 sanding file, and just lightly just sand those right off, and wipe it on your pants when you get done. And I hear that you need to be careful with this dust, that it's super fine, so just be careful with the dust. Oil pan, take and lay your sanding stick down. Just hit it like that a couple times. Wipe it off, blow it off. Transmission. If you have pins or connecting points, this one's actually pretty clean. The connecting points sticking up still, you take your knife. But this one's actually pretty darn clean after they broke off. So if you would want to show your transmission, you want to take and lightly sand those areas. I don't think I'm going to, because that's really clean. But the good part about it is the bottom's completely clean, because if it's in a vehicle, then you're not going to worry about that top so much. Clean up the heads, same thing. Swirl them around a little bit. This is the valve cover side. The cylinder side obviously didn't have any connecting pins, because I did this purposely, because you have this locator rectangle, and I didn't want to put the the supports on that side, because that would hinder you from being able to get it to match up. And these are side specific here. Oh, that's nice. That one. And the other one, this one actually does have a locator pin on that side, so we'll just have to sand around it for the valve cover, I guess. So we'll just sand that down, get those smooth so the valve covers will go on right. Bottom of the blower, it has a little bit of cleanup needs to be done. You see those little bumps? It also has a locator pin, so we'll have to turn it sideways here. You don't want to round this, because the bottom of the blower, the intake is flat. Just try to hold it as level as possible and run it across there, just to knock those off. And then on the sides, you can just let it sit right on its side. And this thing is dirty. Just like that, and do the other side like that. Blower belt, got a few little places on the side of the blower belt that you can just either sand off or just knock them off. You would want to clean this up, obviously, as much as possible, you know, when you paint it, but I'm not painting this one, so I'm not going to take that time. Just look for any areas that need to be cleaned up that are going to be connecting or mating surfaces. Don't want those to have any areas. But big thing, be careful with your belts. Be careful with anything that's really thin, because it will break. Let's see, make sure everything fits, or do I have to do some more trimming of those little edges here? It's a model. it ain't perfect. So you will, I mean, you will have to do a little bit of trimming and fitting. So in theory, I guess it should, if it was a absolute perfect print, it should just all fit right together. But I made it, so it's not an absolute perfect print. I try, but it, you know. All right, let's get him closer. Almost. Or as my son Joseph used to say when he was a little boy, almost. No, that was my nephew Tyler. Almost. It's funny hearing kids with their words. My nephew Tyler, which is like a son to me. He's the one that has the Ford Lightning that we never finished. It's out back. The engine's finished, but never finished it. Tyler would always tell his dad, if they were anywhere, he'd see a sports car or something had a dual exhaust. He would say, "Daddy, I bet that thing got 2 mufflers. That thing probably go 100 miles." He meant miles per hour. That was funny. All right, is this thing fitting yet? Am I putting it on right? Am I doing something wrong here? Anyway, okay, it's going. All right, got that. That's ready. Block's ready. Blower hat. Bottom side of the blower hat's got a few little right there. See the support places? Take you. Well, I ain't got to keep telling you this, and I don't want to fast forward. It's like you skipped something. I just wanted to do every bit of it right here on camera. And then this is supposed to fit in this gap right here. Oh yeah, nice. Okay, got that. Cylinder heads, valve covers. I already did them. Yeah, I did. The back of the water pump and all that stuff. I'm just going to take my knife and hit those little places. Just smooth them off and just drag it across like that. Get that. We're almost to the fun part, gluing it together. If you're going to build this, you're going to want to paint all your pieces individually and stuff like that. I don't have a perfect way of doing it. You can wash these if you want. They're already been washed. I use water washable resin. So it's already had like a double bath already. But if you wanted to wash them in some warm soapy water, be my guest. I wouldn't leave them in there too long. I think it can eventually soften the resin, but I just primer and paint them. That's what I do. I really wouldn't have done anything to this. I just primer and paint it. Okay, so now the glue is I guess the oil pan goes on that way. I always get confused because sometimes your oil pans, the sump or the lower parts in the front, the lower parts in the back. I don't know. I'm putting it on the way I think it should go. What the heck was I saying? I have to back up the video to remember what I was saying. Anyway, it'll come back to me. But alright, let's get started. Glue. Maybe that's what I was going to say. Most of it's super glue. If you have a cylinder head, if you have an engine that doesn't have any locator points, this one does, fortunately. Very nice of them to design it that way. You still have to line the front up a little bit. You can use super glue, no problem, but super glue on resin is quick. Let me tell you, because this stuff apparently is kind of porous. I bet if you got like a super zoom magnifying glass or something, it would be all full of holes. So it sticks, and it sticks permanent. You're going to break it if you try to take that back off. It's not like styrene or something. No, I mean, you'll break styrene too, but I'll use the UV glue sometimes if it's a place, like a cylinder head for instance. If it's not one with locator pins, because you got to get it just right, and then your intake won't fit if it's not just right. I'll get it in place, and then I'll take that UV glue. I mean, I can demonstrate. Let me grab it. There's a Q-tip right there. The UV glue has to see the light. Oh man, that's funny. But anyway, if the UV glue, you can't just douse it on the mating surface and then squash it on there and expect it to cure. You've got to have a light. It's got to have the light. The light's got to see the UV resin glue or the UV glue, or it ain't gonna do nothing. So, all right. So let's. I'll do one side super glue and one side UV glue. Make sure this other cylinder head fits on there. right. There's a little piece there. All right, that's good. All right, so we'll do UV glue, and I'll show you how to do that. If you do so, want to try that. I'm not saying this is the perfect right way. All right, so get your cylinder head lined up perfectly. Hold it in place. Just like that. Something just stuck in my hand. I hope it wasn't a part. And take the UV glue if it hasn't cured. Hopefully it hasn't. I'm just going to use some. There it comes. This stuff's kind of thick. I think it is like a resin. I'm just going to take it and just run it right down the, put a bead right down it there. And then, because you don't want it piled up, it does kind of pile up, I'll just take the Q-tip, kind of wipe it off. And then introduce it to, don't shine the UV light onto your tip. That will cure the heck out of it. You'll have to put a new tip on it. So I'll sit there for I don't know. I do it longer than probably I should, but 10 or 15 seconds. Let it get set. If you don't do it long enough, it won't, to still move on you. So put it on there and cure it good. When you buy this UV glue from Hobby Nut, you get he offers a little flashlight that goes with it. I've got a couple of those. I wanted a bigger one, so I bought this one just because it's a bigger light. Easier to hold. The other one is a little small, but if you're only doing it 2 or 3 times a model or something, you don't really need this light. I really didn't need it either, but I did. All right, so that's glued there, and I might as well go ahead and put a little under here, under the headers. You're not going to see it, and it's clear. I can't even see it coming out. It's clear, so it's not like, doesn't leave white residue or anything like that. Put a little there just to get it stuck down. Give it a second there to cure that one. So this flashlight is just like when you go into a haunted house or something that's got black lights, or I don't know, maybe you like to go to the club or whatever, or the black light golf course or whatever, and you smile and your teeth are glowing really, really white, and that's all this is, just a UV light. If you have a bottle of this UV glue and your wife says, hey, can you glue this something in the house, and you say, sure honey, I wouldn't advise you walking through from your shop to the house with this uncovered, because it's gonna harden that. So I took some inside, I put it under my shirt so it wouldn't that wouldn't happen. All right, got one cylinder head. Now we're going to super glue this one. Make sure it fits one more time. What's it say? Cut twice, measure once. No, that's what I do. That was not on purpose, by the way. Measure once, cut twice. No. Measure twice, cut once. Maybe that's what I said already. I don't remember. All right, so that fits pretty well, pretty squared up in that. Dang. One thing about super glue, boy, it knows it'll weld shut. All right, so, ooh boy. I do the same thing with the Q-tip on super glue, because that's way too much. Way too much. Just thin coat. You don't want it squishing out. And then lay your Q-tip down so it will stick to everything. And then get it right where you want it in a hurry. That was easy. And that's pretty much it. I do use accelerator. I keep it in a bottle. It's got the little pointy tip thing. That works beautiful. I've used the heck out of that thing. Got them from a Hobby Lobby. All right, these don't come with instructions either, so the least amount of pieces, the easier they go together. This looks like it goes, no, that's the back. Okay, oh, I see a couple little places I need to clean off right there. A little air compressor. Air compressor would be nice, or if you got your your handy dandy airbrush right next to you. You can use it as a blower. Alright, so those go here. I'm going to take my knife. It's got little holes right in the front. See those? One of them doesn't look completely round. Take that thing and give it a little twisting. Don't try to drill too much of this resin either. Your drill bit will grab and just bust the heck out of it. So be careful if you do try to drill something. Like if you're drilling your spark plug holes or something like that. Be careful. Oh man, it fits nice. I'm going to go ahead and put some super glue on this one right in the middle. Yeah, so if you're drilling your head for your spark plugs, maybe a dull bit would be better than a really sharp one. You don't want it to grab and break your engine. That would be frustrating. So be super careful. Looks like this one does have some, like, I guess pre-drilled like holes down at the bottom. Looks like where the plugs would go. So there's already a place to start it. So you can take your little pin vise and drill away. Alright, oil pump. I mean an oil pan. Okay, yeah. The oil pan does have specific. You see there's a little, well, you can't see squat. There's a little notch right there. That's for the oil filter. So that made it pretty obvious. So put a little. You'll take more time if you're, building this thing to put in a car or truck. You're going to take more time because you want it right. Just trying to make the video here to show you guys how I do it in fast motion. Okay, oil pan. Okie dokie. Now, it's like we can put the intake. I haven't pre-fitted that yet. I'm going to fit this darn blower belt one more time. Still was a little bit tight. I can't even see what I'm doing. Just chipping away at these corners. Maybe the corners are a little more sharp than the indentation on the blower. I got something going on I can't see. I need to put my magnifiers on. That's what I need to do instead of fumbling around in the dark. Seems like my up close vision is shot. I have extremely good far off vision, but my up close vision is completely shot. And you know what's crazy? It seems like it hasn't been that way until I started back into models, because I would wear these glasses to be able to see, but I think what it does is actually just weaken your eyes a little bit. Okay, that is 1,000 times better. Okay, alright, now intake. Man, this is so nice. This thing fits together so nice because there's all those locator pins. I hadn't had too many like that. You just have to be more careful when you're building one that doesn't have those. Alright, put her in there, make sure it's right. Ooh, gosh, that grabs fast. You better have it right if you use super glue. I'm telling you what, you couldn't tear that loose. And actually it was a little bit crooked. Let me see if I can. Golly. There ain't no dang way. You better be careful. I didn't get the intake completely centered. Oh well, it's what it is. I have to build another one for pictures. Man, that stinks. I am not lying. This stuff is like, it's gonna break. Be careful. Also, white glue, Mod Podge. I have put some stuff together with Mod Podge. It's very forgiving, just takes longer to dry. So you might want to try that. And valve covers. Man, I hate that. I hate that. Got the darn intake on there crooked. Alright. Valve cover. I guess this is the right one. Yeah. Put it on there just right. Because you ain't getting it back off. Oh heck, that ain't right. Ooh, that was close. Okay, right there. Press it down. Almost glued my finger to it. Alright. So yeah, pretty simple, straightforward, at least this engine. And this one is on the website. It's the black. I have the carbureted version and I have the supercharged version. And I also haven't printed them yet, but I also have a tunnel ram with 2 4-barrel version that I'll be getting out soon. Some fuel injector model. I think there's a turbocharged model. So all that stuff. All right, blower belt. How does this go? Will it fit in there? So the bottom, the shaft that goes into the bottom pulley, a little tight. I don't want it tight. I want it kind of loose fitting. Take that thing and just run it in there like that. That up. Much better. Alright, now let's test fit this before we glue it. Okay. Just a touch of glue. Shoot, that's tight. As tight fitting as that is, you don't really need glue. I got way too much in there. You need to get you some Q-tips. You need 100 of them at least at all times, because man, I use those things so often. Those are toothpicks, and Q-tips are like my best friend when it comes to modeling. Alright, got the blower belt on it. And blower hat. I'm going to do the blower hat last. Let's see about the transmission. See how it fits. Oh man, that goes right on there. That is too cool. Alright. Like that. Locator pins. Right there. Push it really hard. Hold it just for a second. And it's on there. And I got, well, I guess I could, but these what you call them, like spark plug coil packs. Alright, let's see about the headers real fast. When you're cleaning up your headers, you'll just take a sanding pad or whatever and just lightly scrub those little pins, connecting points off of there. You can do this on your headers. You want them nice and clean. I try to put them in a spot where they are accessible pretty well, so you can clean them up. I try to think ahead, like doing that. And it's a trial and error type thing when you print these, because if you don't get the supports right, you can have problems. If you get too many supports, that's a problem. So it's like a real juggling act. Alright, there's the one header right there. Get that one on there. Make sure your angle is right. The mating surface is the right way. Test fit everything before you glue it, like your intake. Could have used the UV glue on the intake. Probably wouldn't have been a bad idea. And you can put it in place and glue the back of the intake, or go in, I can't tell if this darn thing's focused or not. Probably the whole video is out of focus. But yeah, you can take and run a bead at the back, bead at the front, then you can move it any time you need to, hit it with the light. That's what I'll do next time. So I'm going to clean out these holes here a little bit. And we're almost done with this thing. Kind of like the old days, not paint anything. I don't think I ever built a model that I didn't paint though. I can say that my dad always showed me, I mean it was spray paint, and then I moved up to one of those little aerosol powered airbrushes at the end before I quit. And yeah, he would, you know, just paint it on top of the box, and yeah, my dad wasn't an expert builder or anything, but I mean he took pride in what he did, and I would paint them. I'm having a tough time seeing with just my readers on. That's the only thing about this. If I'm doing this for sure, I got my magnifier on. Alright, that looks good. A little glue. Make sure this thing's on there square and straight too. You don't want your blower hat on there all wonky. Wow, this engine builds up really, really nice. Super nice. Should I put these on there? Just to finish it. And I got an oil filter also to put on it. And a valve cover breather. I don't know what side this goes on. Looks like they're both the same. I haven't a clue. Maybe like that. No, that looks like that goes down. It's got to be. I don't know. I'll have to look at the picture. I'm not going to glue those on. Here's the oil filter. Super careful because it's going to shoot across the room if you're not. Let's see, make sure it fits on the little pin. Yep. Just a dab of super glue. I think that was a dab. I can't even see it. There we go. Put it on there. Okay, what kind of oil filters do you guys prefer? That's a good question. So my preference is wicks. So when I go and get oil change stuff from a local parts store or a auto parts store, I get wicks. I actually did a little research, and this, I don't want to open up a can or nothing, you know what I mean? It's like, just talking about oil filters. It's Wicks is a very, very good quality oil filter. Okay, that goes right in there. I'm not even going to glue it. Alright, so hey, check it out. There you go. It's not hard. Get this camera off here. I can't see the darn thing. There went the little plug. Okay, let me glue it in there since it fell right out. Toothpick anywhere, Matthew? There's one right there. Little glue. If you need to get in the tight spot, put a little glue on the tip of your toothpick, and you don't get it all over the place. And just take it in right there. Don't stick it to the table. What did I do with that darn plug? There it is. Take it, put it in there. The carbureted version has a distributor in the back. On this version here, see, it's got that plug where the distributor would be. It's like a sensor. The carbureted version has a distributor molded in already. Alright, there it is. So, alright, let me get the camera now off of here and see if we can look at it. Oh, that looks good. I got her zoomed in. No wonder. Holy moly. Back off. Okay. So, there it is. Big block Chevy. See where my intake was not lined up right. That really stinks. Bad. But anyway. Yeah, pretty cool. This 3D printing stuff is just like, has opened up a world of possibilities. And that is a nice looking, very nice looking engine there. You paint that thing up black. I think that's what color. Yeah, the one on my Ford is if you want to build a Chevy monster truck, here's your Chevy monster truck engine, I guess, or whatever engine you want to use. But anyway, yeah, cool. All right, so guys, that's just what I wanted to show you. Is it's not hard. It's actually pretty darn easy, and generally the parts fit better than the styrene would, and the detail is just out of this world. So hope you got something out of it, especially you guys that haven't messed with the 3D stuff and kind of have been intimidated. That's all there is to it. This is the 426 Hemi. I think I might have taken some off it. No, looks like it's all there. That one has more parts, and yes, you can put the cylinder heads on upside down, because I did on the one that I built, model that I built. Don't do that. Put them on right. Just look at some pictures or something. But yeah, cool. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I do appreciate you, especially the support that you've given me via the website mcvproducts.net, and you can get this engine there now. It's the black box big block, supercharged big block Chevy, and it's the carbureted version too. Also got some other stuff. Just added some cool 4x4 wheels and tires. Matter of fact, let me grab them real fast. Yeah, I got these are 20 inch matte, I think MAT version tires and wheels, or the wheels are matte, the tires don't have a name. Those are 20s for like your modern 4x4 trucks. And here's some fuel, I think they are. These are either Vengeance, or one of these two is a Vengeance and one's a Alliance or something like that. But anyway, BF Goodrich mud terrain, those things are cool as can be. These are 20 inches also. They're quite bigger as far as the tire than these low profile ones. So that's your sure enough big dog mud truck. And this is also, I think they're fuel wheels, and comes with that. They're obviously two pieces, so they fit nice. And these are Thornbirds, the tires, and these rims come with bead locks. You don't have to use the bead lock. The bead lock's separate. Those are pretty cool. Thornbirds. They come with a almost looks like a steel wheel, but I think it's supposed to be aluminum. Bullet hole style type wheel. Those are really cool. And especially if it would focus, that would be like amazing. But you know, it's got so much going on. There we go. Let's do this. Come on, thing, focus there. Anyway, all right. Thanks for watching, guys. I do appreciate you. HobbyNutModels.com. Grab yourself some of that UV glue, because it comes in really handy building these things. Yeah. Anything else you need hobby related, go check out HobbyNutModels.com. Anything you need 3D printed, not 3D printed. I do have people ask, well, can you print this or that? I don't design anything. If I don't have it on my website, I can't design it. I mean, I can look for something, but zero design ability on my end right now. Hopefully I could do that one day. But if you need anything on the website, hey, go check it out, mcvproducts.net. And I want to thank you guys for being a supporter of this channel for so long. I don't know, well, I guess maybe you all haven't been here so long, but there's some people that that come to mind that have just supported me the entire journey, and it's really super nice and gratifying and humbling to know that there are people that will stick with you. You know what? They'll just stick with you even if you show your ignorance and things like that. They're there to help in the comment section and to guide, and constructive criticism is an awesome thing. Don't take it wrong. Hey, but give it right too, on the other hand, because sometimes comments can come across very abrasive, but I don't think it's always meant that way. It's kind of hard to show emotions. When I say emotions, like compassion or hatred, it's kind of hard to separate those things in word form or text form. So sometimes it can come across harsh. I can hear the train outside, by the way, just about to catch it. But anyway, I do appreciate everybody's comments, and I'm thankful just to everybody. Hey, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and let me know, have you built a 3D printed anything? Generally, I think when people start out, they probably either get a set of wheels or they get an engine, but then there's so many more other things that are available that the 3D printing world has made possible. So anyway, guys, thanks for all you do. Thank you to my Patreon members, guys. You're great. I really appreciate you, and we'll see you soon. I have got to get the darn Mustang finished. Okay, I got to get some bare metal foil. Well, there's the train. But I got to get some bare metal foil. My foil is no good. Look at that. That thing zoomed right in on it. See how much farther to go. Look at there. So I got to foil the body lines and put it together. That's pretty much it. I still haven't got the set of wheels scaled like I need them. Darn train. But, and then I got the, well, I don't even see the box now. The T, Model T I got to finish. And anyway, all right guys, thanks for watching. I'm out of here. We'll see you later. Take care. Bye.